All right, let's talk about 8 Mile.
Mhm.
Did you do any kind of work for 8 Mile?
Well, well, no, in that aspect of it, of course. Well, that's like a nuanced question. I didn't have no in the production of it. That came totally from the Paul Rosenberg, Stuart Parr, Eminem's manager, Stuart Parr, who's Paul's cousin, and he's played a very integral part to the whole breaking Eminem because he did the merchandise and he's one of the ones that brought the 8 Mile to the whole Eminem camp, I believe. And at that point, I was managing D12 and we were on tour. So our job was, well, me and Rico Shelton's job was, we was managing D12. We went on a national tour, but we also had to bring Proof back and forth because it was Proof was in 8 Mile. And it might have showed like he was only on there like for like 3 or 4 minutes. But that scene and some outtakes, it took like, I think Proof shooting was like 2 weeks. So we had to manage, the Proof contract. We had to, just you asked about my input into 8 Mile. We had to get Proof a proper booking agent, a young lady by the name of Dana. We had to hire Dana to be his movie agent. I'm talking his movie agent. We had to fill out the paperwork. It's a lot too when an actor has a speaking part in a movie. He has to sign up with AFTRA and all of this other crazy stuff. And so we were doing that. And then we had songs on the 8 Mile album. And, I think only one of them made the album because I gotta remember that, you know, what the public sees is not what I see on my desk. So we had a couple of more songs, I believe that yeah, they didn't make it to daylight, but we had Rap Game on there and so we had to oversee a lot on that part just for the whole D12. And so yeah, we were like on that during 8 Mile, we were heavily on tour and it was crazy. It was crazy. We was going back and forth and doing a lot of different stuff. But yeah, and then M wanted to stay very concentrated on on his movie. That was his first time being an actor per se in a movie, so he had to stay concentrated. So it was just different. It was different things happening during that time.
Right. So like when it first got announced that they were gonna do a movie, like what was your reaction?
Um, I thought it was dope, man. I thought the whole concept, 8 Mile, because man, 8 Mile, a person living here, we instantly got it. Because 8 Mile is that, to this day, right? I don't want to give up. It might be a couple of my exes on here that make that's still like fatally attraction to me. But I tell you, man, I live near one of the miles. I'm gonna give one. I live kind of sort of near 12 Mile, right? And 12 Mile is, and it's always 8 Mile is the border between the suburbs and the hood. It's like that's the for anybody from Michigan or especially somebody from Metro Detroit, they know what I was talking about. 8 Mile is like when you get past 8 Mile, or some people that got bad license and no insurance, they don't even want to go past 8 Mile because that's the suburbs. So 8 Mile has always been like the I don't want to say the Mendoza line, but it's how kind of like the Mason Dixie line. And so instantly people like 8 Mile was so catchy about what was gonna predicting of it. But then when I started like getting the concept of the movie just from like, just being on the team, I was like, it was brilliant. And then the director, he passed away, I think like a couple of years ago. He did a couple of movies that I loved. He did now I can't think of it, but man, he when he came aboard, he was a world renowned director. When he came aboard, it was like, God, man. It was like, this gonna be some real shit. This ain't gonna be like no fucking $10 DVD movie. This gonna be like some, okay, we get into it.
Right. For sure. And I mean, the people that they had in the movie with, when Omar Benson Miller played you in the movie,
Oh, you know what, Panda? You know what? I meant to call your ass on that. I was watching, another battle. What's that? Leonardo DiCaprio movie. And one of my friends, she was like, Mark, you haven't watched another battle and you haven't watched Sinners. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because man, I'm so crazy. Like my thought process, like man, I watch like ESPN or I watch like Benny Hill all day. I got a weird way I deal with I study pop culture at this point in my life. So I said, you know what, fuck it. I said, I queued up another battle, or what is it? Another that Leonardo, and I watched that, and then I watched Sinners, and Omar is all in Sinners. I said, motherfucker, Pandy, that come from the last interview, man. You got motherfuckers thinking that.
What? Come on, man.
Did you watch Sinners?
No, I didn't watch Sinners though.
Oh, that's what that. Okay, well you don't get it. I thought you watched Sinners, but in Sinners,
No.
Omar plays he has a nice, healthy acting role in Sinners. That's that Michael B. Jordan movie. Excellent movie.
Right. No, I know what movie it is. Yeah. But and then you had Anthony Mackie before he like really blew up, right? You know what I mean? So he was playing Papa Doc. Fuck a clock. Anyways, and then of course Mekhi Phifer, right? How did you feel about Mekhi Phifer's portrayal of Proof? Do you think that he did a great job?
You know what? The crazy part, this is wild. Okay, like when it was really happening, man, we were like, I don't want to say we was big as IBM, but man, during that the Eminem explosion, man, everybody would be compartmentalized. And to be honest, I gotta like roll it back a little bit. When you talk about the Scribble Jam, man, I forgot what I was working on back then, but my former partner, Rico Shelton, that was his about about like the scribble, just in that department, that was his. We had like assignments because I mean we always on the same page, but it would be days I would be working on something like a publishing situation, or I would be out in LA handling some business. And then me and Rico, of course, we coordinate, and we were on the same page. But it was so many times. And when you talk about like the Scribble Jam and all of that, that was Rico department, like the rap battles and all of that, because like I said, he had the brigade, which was the Nine and Conniver, and then you know, he had Bazaar on his label, so he was much more into the independent battle rhyme. And then when Proof kept getting elevated, and I'll admit something. I'm gonna say something. I know I'm probably gonna catch a little flack for this. I know I'm gonna catch some flack for this, but I literally checked out when Proof won. He lost the Blaze battle by controversy, but then when he won the Source battle, and that was right then. That was like winning the Super Bowl of battle rap. After that, and that's when like M was starting to blow up a little bit. It was starting to be noise. I literally stepped out of rap battle, and this is just me. And I know I'm gonna catch him. I don't think Proof is the best that ever done it. And so when you already did taste caviar, it's hard to go back to eating Ritz crackers.
Wait, 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 wait. You're saying you don't think that he was the best to done battle rap in
No,
Detroit?
I said I think Proof in that the best battle rapper. I think he was the best battle rapper. So
Oh,
I
got
kinda
you, got
checked
you.
out.
Okay.
I'm just saying he was the caviar. He was the he was the guy who was the magnum opus of that in that era. And it's I don't
Well,
even
that
really.
was really freestyling too,
Yeah, that's what.
right?
Yeah, but it was that was like a synergy, freestyling and battle. So when me and Proof went to New York, and it was just me and him, and it was crazy because that same day, Paul was finalizing Roy's deal at Tommy Boy, because Paul was an attorney, and and he was um and he was finishing Roy's deal, and so Paul and Royce came. Like me and Proof, we was there together. We always did stuff as like is unison. So we was at the battle. I believe the battle was at the Kit Kat Club, and we had a couple of other people there. It was a couple. It wasn't just me and him. It was like maybe 5 or 6 of us. And when Proof won that battle at the Kit Kat Club in Manhattan, I checked out of it. I was like, man, I was so happy. It's almost like a coach that won the Super Bowl. I was like, man, can't nobody tell me nothing. I managed the best battle rapper in the world. You know, I said, I even told my girl when we got back to Detroit, I was like, girl, you better fuck me good. You're dealing with the best manager, the manager of the best freestyle. So I want my steak done. I want my shrimp done right. I was so on my high horse. So and so literally when I kind of checked out of battle rap, and then Lord knows I would, Proof and Bizarre, they always stayed into the scene. I'm like, can't nobody, why waste time, Proof? You the best. And I was like, Proof, you the best. Why you even watching, or why you even, they had him and Bizarre, they had different ways to check out battle rap, through DVDs and tapes. I was like, man, why you even doing that? And then when Proof was killed, oh, I totally. So I'm really, I check in a little bit. I watch a little bit, and one of my friends, Kiate, he was about to bring battle rap to Detroit, and I kind of was, kind of not consulting with him, but I was talking with him because but honestly, I checked out. I really checked out. And I know Proof and Bizarre, they did have their own business entity, like here, right? Like the year before Proof died, when he had his Iron Fist Records, and they had battles at the building. But I checked out. So I just wanted to go back on that. I don't know if we could re-edit it in, but that was just something I wanted to say because that was on my mind.
All right. Well, what was the point of that compared to what we were talking about again?
Well, no, I said, Panda. I said I wanted to rewind and I wanted to revisit that.
Right. Okay, so what were we talking about before you went into that?
Oh, we was talking about 8 Mile.
Right. So 8 Mile, right? So what did you think of Mekhi's portrayal of Proof?
Okay. Damn, I do feel like an asshole now. Um, no, a great story about Mekhi Phifer. Of course, at that time, we knew of Mekhi Phifer because, man, he was coming in fire. He was coming in. He had did what was that? Did he do
He did Carmen.
Carmen? But I don't. But that was that before. No, but he had a couple of good movies.
He did
He
O.
did Clockers. Yeah, yeah,
He did O. He did
yeah.
Honey.
No. Okay, so
Right.
look. So like what was really crazy, it was filmed, as everybody know, in Detroit. And so all these actors and all these motherfuckers, the guy from Boardwalk Empire, who he just did that movie on Netflix, and all these guys was coming into town, and they was like, okay, we coming in movies. We were almost in 2000, because that was what 2001 that they filmed. It was almost like Beverly Hill. It was like some Beverly Hillbillies, like Petticoat Junction. I know some of your the subscribers don't know what I'm talking about, but we were like very like country. in terms of movie because we hadn't had like a movie in Detroit in a minute. So all them are coming to town, and somebody came with this idea that, hey, Mekhi, you and Proof, y'all need to go hang out. And I remember this day, man. One of the great things that I have in my life is memories in my book collection. And that day, they said, well, you know what? It's a Lions game happening. And they invited and the producers from 8 Mile, they rented a suite in at the Lions game at Pontiac Silverdome. That's how far long ago it was. And me and Proof, we went to the me, Proof, and Rico, we went to the game to meet Mekhi Phifer. So we go to the game because in the suite, Mekhi is there with him and his boys, and me, Rico, and Proof, we're at the game, and it's like a get to know. We in the suite having drinks, and Mekhi is like, he said some wild shit. Like, man, Proof, I want to tell you, my method acting is I really only want to initially meet you. He was like, I know about you, I studied you, but I just want to get a first impact of how you are. So at the game, man, we we just was hanging, we of course we just sitting in the background, and Proof and Mekhi is having just a long talk. Like, a football game is like 3 hours. And so Mekhi, like, is sitting there and he's just really like sponging off of off of Proof. In a good way. Because Proof knew what was going on. And then the crazy part, after the game, Mekhi was like, what you guys doing? And we say, man, we're about to go to this Subies. It was a strip club pot we was comfortable going to. So we was like, man, we're about to go to Subies. And man, from the Lions was playing in Pontiac. I know you've never been to Detroit. And Subies, it's like an hour away from each other. And Mekhi like, I want to follow y'all over there. I want to go. Proof like, yeah, man, I love going to the strip clubs. I guess when him and Mekhi was vibing, they they got to know, they got to know each other, I mean, they got to Proof without talking about the strip club. So we go, so Mekhi Phifer followed us over to this strip club, Subies. And man, we had a time of our fucking life. We having fun, we just hanging out. And basically, from my memory, Mekhi was like, I got it. He was like, what you mean? I got Proof. I got it. He was like, I don't want to, he's like, I don't like to do the redundant shit. I got it. He was like, I got it. I got you. I mean, literally, and I don't know if that kind of transcended as you being a movie watcher of 8 Mile, but I got where he was going with it. And he just that whole night, he really just sucked everything in, pause. He really just sponged where Proof is coming from, and he got the accent, and literally he did, because Proof hanging out, foot Proof is a Proof was a sports fan, and he liked going to the strip clubs, and not to say that, because Proof is a very, very, he's probably one of the most complex men I've ever met in my life, but it's almost like Mekhi got it. And then of course during the movie sets, because Proof was there hanging around and he had his own part in the movie. Of course he probably had, but just that part and the act, just the way an actor processes stuff, he got him. And I mean, literally, and it was like he said, yeah, and he did say, he said, Proof, my thing is I do like the first impressions, something like that. He said, I got it. I got it. And of course of course they maybe connected, like, past and maybe at, in the cafeteria or something during 8 Mile. But I think, Mekhi, I believe he got the rhythm. I didn't feel like he appropriated Proof. I felt I liked it. I dug it.
Yeah, I love Mekhi Phifer as an actor, man. I think he did a great job too. Um, that That movie just has so many classic moments in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
So
then when people, another thing with that movie, and it was always, you always had a peanut gallery talking stuff, but you got to remember too, and this is just, I don't want to stay in defense of anything, but back then, a artist, a rapper, made most of his money on tours. We really
mhm.
didn't get a lot of money, and so when people was like, "Oh, why wasn't D12 more in the movie?" Man, we had just came out with Devil's Night that summer, and we had the #1 album. We were double platinum, so we had to make our money. So during that time, we were doing shows all across the world. So, the people was like, "Well, why did y'all?" It was a lot of it was especially then, and even on the internet during that time, people was like, "Well, why did you do why," a lot of people was being fucking, Monday morning quarterbacks and stuff, but people didn't understand we had to strike when the iron was hot in terms of really getting, because we was on fire. We had, like I said, that summer in 2001, we had the #1 album in the we had the #1 album across the country. We had, man, I probably got like maybe 10 D12 world plaques. So we had to do that, and then it coincides with, 8 Mile was filmed in the fall while we were on tour in '01. So that was a coincide. So that's why a lot of, D12 didn't make it into the movie per se.